Well, once again, we have Austin Bayliss, Central Empire Wrestling, and Saturday night, Saturday night was a homecoming for you of sorts.
Right, so it's always good to be back in Oskaloosa. We started running shows here in 2007, actually at the Mahaska County YMCA, and we slowly moved our way out to the Nelson Pioneer Farm and did shows there for a number of years. 2013 to 2016, took some time off, came back and have been going strong up until COVID in March 2020. So a year and a half away from the community, it's good to be back. Saturday night was a nice show. People of all ages. We had little ones, we had grandmas, we had grandpas. We had actually one family brought 3 generations of their family to the wrestling show. So it's a good time to be back home in Oskaloosa.
There had to have been a whole lot of jitters, 18 months, I think you said, something like that, in between the last show and being able to do this one.
So it's so much easier to stay in business than it is to close down for a year and a half and then start back up. Because then when that process of starting back up starts, you've got to kind of lessen the aspects of your life that you've gotten used to in the last year and a half. So the real stress for me for last weekend's show was just finding the right moderation of wrestling and the right moderation of my personal life of, mowing a yard. We farm. So sweet corn's out last week. Just there's so many different things that we've gotten used to as a way of life in the last year and a half without wrestling. That finding that happy medium to get back there, that was probably the toughest part, and it wasn't hard. It was just finding the time to do it all. So Saturday went off really well, but the big thing right now that we're on the road to Bridge City Slam 3, Saturday, September 18th in Ottumwa, Iowa. The Bridgeview Center is going to be the place to be because from 4 to 7 you're going to be able to meet legends of professional wrestling. And then from 7 to 10, we've got a big Legends Wrestling show. Weird.
Well, you have some posters with you. Why don't we kind of hold one up and you can talk about who you've got coming and why folks might be interested.
All right, so hopefully you've seen some of these posters. We printed 1,000 of these, and we've been going around the communities within an hour radius of the Oskaloosa, Ottumwa area. Right now, today, we're setting at about 650 of these posters, so we're over the hump here. But we've got former WWE stars all lined up on this show. WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi's going to headline the show. Diva Candice Michelle, former women's champion. We've got Gangrel, late 90s, early 2000s star. JTG from Crime Time. Chris Masters, now he's actually the NWA national champion. He's going to be on the show, taking on William Penn graduate Storm Thomas. So we're excited for that. And then, of course, what we just got done talking about, Eric Redbeard wrestling for the CEW championship.
Well, I was going to say, so Storm is a name that a lot of people will recognize, and he now wrestles mainly in the southeast of the United States, doesn't he?
So in about 2010, I was a student at William Penn University. We, at the same time, Central Empire Wrestling was rocking it here in Oskaloosa, down to YMCA, down at Nelson Pioneer Farm. We were really making an impact here in the community. And so one night at a show, I met a fellow William Penn student. Of course, we might have seen each other, but didn't realize the connection that we would have with wrestling on campus. So Tony was going to school at the university, William Penn, and at the same time working at the PAC. And one day we started talking wrestling, and he tells this story that I kept hustling him. You got to train to be a wrestler. You got to do this, Tony. You got to come to Wellman. Come on, you got to get in the ring, because he was jacked. He looked good, right? He was very athletic. He played on the football team at Penn, and finally we got him to come down to Wellman. He trained. Went on to wrestle for me, but then he graduated and he moved back home to Florida. Tony's originally from the St. Petersburg area. He moved back home to Florida. Didn't see him. He didn't wrestle a whole lot there for a while, but then he ended up at the gym that he worked out at, met a whole bunch of WWE and professional wrestling legends. He got back into it down in Florida, and from that time, it was just up for Tony. He started to do so many incredible things, and in about 2018, he actually received the Men's Wrestling Award for the Cauliflower Rally Club, which in my opinion is kind of like a Rising Star Award. That's a big award that not too many people have received. And so major honor for Tony out in Las Vegas. He's worked out for WWE, he's worked out for AEW, he's done so many incredible things, and it all started on the campus of William Penn University. So to come back, he's came back to the Oskaloosa area a handful of times, but he always likes to come and be a staple of our Bridge City Slam shows in Ottumwa. So for Tony to come back right now and to take on Chris Adonis, most people know him as Chris Masters from the WWE, the NWA National Champion, against Tony Storm, Storm Thomas, however you might know him, that's pretty cool. It's a sentimental aspect for me, because I was there on day one when we were just talking wrestling. And so now to see Tony in the ring and watching wrestling and seeing him in the ring for the NWA National title, that's pretty cool.
Tell folks how they can enjoy or take part in Bridge City Slam 3.
So I think the thing that independent wrestling, and specifically Central Empire Wrestling, that one of the things we offer and we really excel at is when you come to our events, it's a very intimate atmosphere. It's very close. You're up close and personal to the ring. You can feel it. You can feel it in your veins, the action and excitement of live professional wrestling. We have an intermission a lot of times where you get to meet the wrestlers. You get a picture with them. And so the Bridge City Slam show from 4 to 7, we've got a Legends Fans Fest. You get to come in, meet the legends, talk to the legends. You get to see guys like Tony, the local people as well. It's a fun time to, again, that intimate atmosphere where you get to truly know somebody, even if it's only for a brief 5-10 minutes. You get to go watch them wrestle later on in the night. That's pretty cool. 7 o'clock wrestling show, up close and in person. There's not a bad seat in the Bridgeview Center. I know you've been there. I've been there now 3 years in a row for Bridge City Slam. We're excited for that. Tickets available, Ticketmaster.com, the Bridgeview Center box office, not Bridgeview City box office. Not a bad seat in the house. It's going to be a fun night. Tickets start out at just $20. So a $20 ticket gets you into the show. You can get into the Fan Fest for free. You don't have to meet anybody. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to, but it's a really neat rural Iowa opportunity to get up close and personal with live professional wrestling. I just want to say, when it comes to Oskaloosa, Oskaloosa is truly home for me. I went to school here. My business flourished here. It's always an honor to be back here in this community. So thanks for believing in Central Empire Wrestling. Thanks for believing in Austin Bayliss since 2007. It's been a wild ride. I can't wait to see what the future brings.